What's going on, Sliders? Welcome back to the Piplup Party, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 most expensive cards from the Pokemon Sword and Shield era. So, let's get into it. I do want to point out that this is a list made from the website Dexerto, or Dexerto, however you say it. Dexerto.com, Dexerto, for anyone who wants to look at the website. I don't think it's going to be up to date with Silver Tempest because it said published September 20th, updated November 8th. So yeah, just keep in mind, I don't think Silver Tempest is going to be in this, and I don't know if this list is completely up to date, but let's see what we think about their top 10. At number 10, we have the Espeon Vmax, alternate art from Fusion Strike. Okay, now this is incredible because we have at the number 10 spot a card that comes in at almost $200 already. So the top 10 cards are going to be pretty pricey, it's looking like. But yeah, number 10, Espeon Vmax at $194. I feel like this should be higher on the list because I know what's coming up, and I know that a couple of them aren't as expensive as this, but at the time of this being made, once again, it was, I think, September, updated in November, so I guess prices weren't exactly completely up to date. But as you see, the price on the Espeon is seeming to kind of go up right now. And I think, at number 10 right now, I mean, we're going to have to get a little further into the list, but as of right now, number 10 I don't have any complaints with. And here we go already. Number 9 is another evolution. This is Glaceon Vmax, but this time coming from Evolving Skies. Now here's where it's interesting. Number 9 is the Glaceon, which is a lower price than the Espeon. As you can see, the price was going down here, so at the time of this list being created, I'm going to guess that the Glaceon may have been worth more, but still, I think they have it at number 9, and that could be because it's from Evolving Skies, which kind of gives it a bump in popularity and price in general, because that's seeming to be what a lot of Evolving Skies is. But, I mean, even when you look at the card, though, I would say a Glaceon is a better looking card. I mean, I'm also not the biggest Espeon fan. I do like Glaceon, so that's probably some bias in there. But, I don't know, the Glaceon card for me kind of does it a little bit better. And you know what I'm just realizing? Look at these beams from the Espeon card. You can see them in this Glaceon card right there. And I might be crazy. I'm zooming in on this. Oh god, what the heck just... Is that... No, okay, I think I'm crazy. I thought this was the Glaceon right there. I thought I might have just discovered something. Okay. Nope. Alright, yeah. But anyways, like I was saying, I got a little sidetracked. Glaceon, I think, is going to be more deserving the number 9 spot. Even though the price isn't exactly there, I'm happy with it being number 9. I think both these cards deserve to be in the top 10. So, once again, no complaints. Now, here's where it gets a little bit interesting with price, because Gengar Vmax is once again the number 8 spot, but a little bit lower than the number 9 and number 10 cards. Here's the thing, right? The Gengar Vmax, I think, because Gengar is a fan favorite, right? But so are evolutions. So I think the favoritism there is not going to lean one way or another. I think it's pretty fair in terms of a bias from fans, but I think this Gengar Vmax is such a cool looking card. And I will say, I think the only reason I was trying to balance out the fan bias, but I think the only reason that the Gengar is not worth as much is because of the Umbreon Vmax from Evolving Skies, as it's worth God knows how much at this point. I think that kind of bumps all the other evolutions up a little bit in price, just a little bit. And, I mean, either way, Gengar Vmax is, I think it used to be not anymore, I guess, but I thought it used to be the most popular card out of Fusion Strike. But even if it's the second highest priced card, it's still a really cool card. And in my opinion, I think it's a better card than both the Glaceon and Espeon Vmax. So to put it at number 8, I think is fair, but if you want to argue in terms of how high the pricing is, I definitely see your point there. But yeah, I'd say to have it at number 8 definitely is reasonable, and I think they made a good call there. Now, okay, Leafeon at number 7. I'm not gonna here's the thing, nothing on this list I'm gonna have a complaint about, because these are all still 10 of the best cards from Sword and Shield. So, I mean, everything here I agree with, but there are some things I may change here and there. But everything in the top 10 I think is fair enough to have in the top 10. But here's the thing. The Leafeon Vmax, $184. If we look, this is number 7, right? We already have number 10 is already worth more than all 3 of the ones, number 9, 8, and 7. Leafeon's barely edged out by Glaceon. And like I said, I know Gengar is underpriced, but still, I think it's a cooler card than the Leafeon. When I look at these, the Leafeon, it's a cool card. I like it a lot. But I would rather have the Glaceon, and I know a lot of people would rather have the Espeon. Personally, I like the Leafeon more than the Espeon. But still, I know there's a lot of people who'd rather the Espeon. I think the Glaceon's a cooler card. And I'm sorry, I'm just in love with this Gengar card. So to have the Leafeon at number 7, like I said, I'm not going to disagree with anything here because it all seems... I mean, it's just margins, right? There's small margins that separate these cards, and they're different for so many people because everyone has so many different preferences. For me, I'd have it a bit lower on the list, but once again, like I said, I'm not going to complain with it. Number 7, it's the 7th best card in all of Sword and Shield. I can totally see that, and yeah, if you want to have it there, that's perfectly fine with me. Also, if you couldn't tell and it sounds like I'm dying, it's because that I'm still sick, and it's fine. We're getting over it. I'm getting back to making videos again, so let's go. Number 6, the Pikachu Vmax. Here's gonna be some controversy. Okay, I am not personally, I'm not one who should be talking about this because I have this, and this is like my pride of all of my Pokemon cards. This is my pride and joy. But I will say, the price on it compared to the other cards, it's not the greatest. I mean, still, it's still good. $138. It's a good card. But to have it at number 6 over all the cards that we just looked at that are already worth more than it feels kind of weird. But at the same time, this is the standout card from Vivid Voltage. And, I mean, I think this should be a higher priced card. I think this card, I think it's just because it's not one of the alt arts, right? Where when you see this, when you see any of these, really, they all have so much going on in the back. But when you look at the Pikachu Vmax, it's just kind of plain. It's just one of the rainbow rares that, you know, it's the card in a rainbow background, and that's kind of it. But I will still say, this card, I think, to me, and probably to a lot of you, is iconic, and it's one of the staples in Sword and Shield. And I think for that reason, to have it at number 6 makes sense. But once again, in terms of a price point, maybe it honestly should probably be number 10 on the list. However, once again, like I said, I think it's kind of one of the staples in Sword and Shield, which is why I think it's okay to have it at number 6. If it's me, I'm putting this thing in the top 3. But that's because once again, I'm biased, and I don't really have room to talk about that. But yeah, so I think overall number 6, it's a fair point for it. I'm not going to complain with it too much. Yeah, so let's move on to number 5. Boom! Number 5, the Aerodactyl V. Okay, this is from Lost Origins, so this may still have a bit of a recency bias in it, but I will say, it's a pretty dang cool card here. I mean, you look, he is over, like, this is some, like, has anyone ever played Ark? Because, like, this is what, when I look at this card, this is what I see. It feels like I'm playing Ark. I feel like I'm on an island with a bunch of dinosaurs, which I know is what this card's pretty much going after right now. And I mean, I don't know, there's just so much going on. I think there's more going on in this card than there was in any of these cards. Yep, there's more going on. Yeah, maybe the Gengar. You could argue the Gengar. But I still think that this Aerodactyl card is super cool. And honestly, if you're asking me, I like the Aerodactyl more than I like the Guillotine. But that's, I don't know. I just think it's a really cool, unique card. And to have it at $124 is interesting. I think it should be a bit more than that. But still, that's why I don't really understand why it's number 5, especially because I'll spoil it. I think everyone probably knows this too. Giratina is higher on this list than Aerodactyl, which is why I think it's weird to have Aerodactyl all the way at number 5. But you got to think about it. At the time of making this, Lost Origin was a pretty new set, and so I think the prices were all probably inflated on this card in particular, and the Giratina. But that's probably why they had it at number 5. So if you're asking me, I'd bump this down by now to maybe 7th or 8th on the list in terms of the price and how the card looks. But I still, oh my god, I can't get over this card. It should be worth so much more. That's in my opinion. But so to have it at number 5, I guess at the time of making the list made sense. But right now, I'd probably put it a bit lower. Here we go. We're getting to the big boys. At number 4, the Charizard V alternate art from Brilliant Stars. This thing clocks in at $211. The card, first of all, is amazing. You got Charizard and Venusaur in an intense duel over some, I don't know where that is, but they're in some cool place having a battle of the ages right now. This seems to be, I mean, I don't know. This is once again an iconic card in the Pokemon Sword and Shield series. It's from one of the newer sets, Brilliant Stars. But I think overall, number 4, I'm not gonna have any complaints with. The price is actually going down on this card. That's interesting to note. But I mean, there's 3 cards ahead of it that I'm not going to complain with the fact that they are ahead of this card. And I think this card, once again, is probably better than every other card that has been on this list so far. So to have it at number 4, I think that's perfect. I think it definitely deserves that. Yeah, I don't have any complaints with it. So really, if you want anything else from me about this card, I can't give it to you. They did a good job with it. On to number 3. Here we go. Okay. Ooh, this is weird. I don't agree with this. Rayquaza Vmax is at number 3. This card is worth $360. And if you guys know what I already said the Guillotine is higher on this list. And if the Guillotine hasn't been shown yet, I think this is kind of weird. I don't think the Guillotine should be higher than this Rayquaza card. This is a cool card. It's in like the jungle place. I don't know where this is, but Rayquaza is looking like a beast, flying over this whole little area. $360 for a card, by the way. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. The card seems to be going down a little bit in price, but I mean, 360. Look at this. The card we just had was 210. You're not doubling, but you are pretty close to probably even getting 1.5 times value on the number 3 card compared to the number 4 card. So this is a big increase in price. So to have this at number 3, honestly, I think it should be number 2. But to have it at number 3, you know, number 3 versus 2, it's not that big of a difference, so I'm not really going to complain with it on that front. But yeah, I'd give it a number 2. But I mean, we'll look at number 2, and then you guys can make a decision for yourselves. Here it is at number 2, the Giratina V alternate full art. Okay, from Lost Origin. Now, here's why I think they probably had it at number 2. Lost Origin was probably a brand new set at this time, and right now, the Giratina is going for $299, and they probably had all the hype under the sun when it first came out, so I can understand why they'd have it at number 2. And here's what I just noticed this. When you compare the Giratina and Rayquaza, look at the actual Pokemon itself. They are not that, like, they're pretty similar in terms of like where they're positioned on the card. It looks pretty similar, and they maybe are following a pattern with these types of Pokemon, perhaps. And it seems to be working well for them because, geez, number 2 and number 3 on the list, pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, I understand why this card goes for as much as it does because it's a very unique take on a Pokemon card where they kind of, I noticed they did this a little bit recently where they just kind of threw in everything in the book at a card, and they're like, all right, we're gonna print it, call it a day, because that's kind of what they did here. Like, look at this. What is going on here? Like, I have no idea what's happening in this card, and I think that's definitely something they don't do a lot in terms with Pokemon cards, and I think that's why this is going for as much as it is, because it's something new. For me, I don't know. I'm not a very artsy guy with this type of stuff, at least, or is what this looks like. So it's not, I don't know, I'm not in love with this card. Like I said, I like the Aerodactyl more. To me, I just think this is a cooler concept, and I like having something like this more. But I see it's a completely different aspect of a card, and I see why a lot of people would like the Giratina as a card. So I'm not going to complain with it too much at being number 2, but I do think that this Rayquaza, it's already worth $60 more. I think it should be number 2, in my opinion. But like I said, you can decide for yourself. Maybe you do like the Giratina. Maybe you're obsessed with the design of having a million things in the card. But for me, I don't know. It's just not for me. But once again, like I said, I'm not going to complain with it being at number 2 too much. Surprise, surprise! Number 1 is the Umbreon Vmax from Evolving Skies. Okay, we got to take a minute here. $566 for a piece of cardboard. This thing, a piece of cardboard this big, you can bend it, you can do it. It's $566. Are you kidding me? That is so much money. That is worth more than a PlayStation 5. Like, what? That is ridiculous. But, I mean, understandably so. You can, I mean, well, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I don't know why it's worth more than a PlayStation, but I get why it's worth more than all of the other cards, because, I mean, look at it. I've never looked at it too much in detail, but look. Okay, Umbreon is on top of a building, touching the damn moon. I mean, and look at the background. The reflection is beautiful in the water. You can see the coloration and everything. And then you even got the whole cityscape down there with all the lights and everything. They did a very, very good job in this card. And even the clouds. You got like the clouds going kind of in a circle around the moon and around the card. It works perfectly. I mean, yeah, there's really no disputing it. You got like a pink glow around Umbreon. I don't know. It's hard to say, to even make a case for a different card being worth more than this, especially if you're gonna factor in the price. Like if you were to tell me right now, I think I don't know, Charizard looks cooler than Umbreon, or I think Rayquaza is a cooler looking card than Umbreon. You can make a case for that, right? I mean, it's because once again, it's all up to preference. But the price does not lie. When you look at the second highest card in this entire list being $360, and then you see the next card jumping over $200 from that price point, you can pretty clearly see why this Umbreon is number one on the list, and why it's probably going to be the highest selling Pokemon card for, I don't even know what the next set is where this might get passed. It's probably going to be years. I don't know. Maybe 4-5 years. I don't know how long it's going to take for something to be more expensive than this card, if it's even ever going to happen. I mean, eventually it probably will, but $566, this is like a miracle card right here. And to have it number one on the list, I'm not going to complain with it. Zero complaints whatsoever. And if you do think something else should be number one, let me know, because I am very curious about that. I think this is a, overall, pretty good list. Maybe there's a couple things that move around here and there in the top 10, but I think they nailed it for the most part. So, Dexerto.com, good job. Yeah, if you think anything else should be number one, or anything else should really be changed on this list, let me know in the comments down below. I would greatly appreciate that, and I'd like to look at it and see what you guys think. Yeah, also subscribe to the Piplup Party. I do not always sound like this. It's impossible for me to talk right now because I'm sick. I'm getting over it, though, so luckily, videos are going to be coming out more frequently, hopefully, and with much more energy. Yeah, so yeah, I'll also like the video if you enjoyed it, because I don't know if you want to see more top 10 type videos or anything like that. I'd be curious, and I'd be interested to do more stuff like this. I got a couple things to open on the channel, and we are inching forward to Scarlet and Violet. And oh my god, I'm not excited for MSRP getting bumped up, but I am excited to open some of that, and hopefully we can do it on the channel. So yeah, that's really all I got for this video. I will see you in the next video. I'm sliding out here. Bye. Leon Messi sliding out of here. That was, yeah, we're ending the video there.